Good afternoon, folks. See if I get any comments here. Not seeing any comments. There's a comment. Hello, Renee. Hi, Susan. We have success. No stress. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Yes, it was a lot of fun. The kids all had a blast. Lily's, we've decided that the Halloween parties are going to probably start just being a Macmillan Halloween party, and then all of our friends can come and we'll have activities set up at different points in the house, because having 2 Halloween parties in between all of the events for work, it is a bit much. But hi, Charlene. We had a lot of fun, and actually I don't know if anybody who did see the post I did about Lily's Halloween party, but the first activity we had them do was actually a game, or yeah, I guess a competition for the very first Kimberbell event that we hosted, the Sewing with My Nomies. But if you didn't see it, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So you have boxes, and it has a way to attach to your body. And has a hole on the back, and then you make it so that the hole is visible on the person. And then you have to shake your body in order to get all the balls out of the hole. So we have a video of Kate and Patrick doing this during the Sewing with My Nomies event. And then last year we did a board that I called the Ghostbusters board, and I put a whole bunch of little Halloween goodies into the styrofoam cups, and then I put tissue paper on top of that to close it in, and then I drew ghost faces on there. So that was a big hit, but I decided to change it up, and we did a board that had the cup sitting upright, so we kind of like have to shoot the ping pong ball and get points and stuff. So it was so much fun. Hi, Roberta. Hi, Val. Hi, Susan. Miss Patty Whitefield. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. So you may hear my machine stitching in the background. I am in the process of doing some stitching because it is a longer stitch out. Something's going on with my hair, guys. So let me show you, and then we will go through announcements and everything too. So this is today's project. It is a design from JUJU. It's a design that is originally $12, but it is on sale for $3. And I just realized I forgot my kit. Oh, please. So sorry about that. Okay, so the design is usually $12. It's on sale for $3. I don't know how long that sale price will be for the designs, so I advise you to jump quick. It was a lot of fun, Val. It makes me think of us all dancing in Littleton with Lily when she was little. Okay, so I do have a fabric kit available. This is $17.99, and it's going to make 6 of the utensil holders. So I figured this is a wonderful time to start preparing for Thanksgiving, getting your table ready. And then I also wanted to kind of talk about some details that you can add to it, but we'll do that while we're stitching. I have started, so this is a 2-hoop process.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, thank you, Jeanette. Hi.
Hi.
Val's teaching a class. Her jelly roll drag race.
Woo-hoo.
They're all pedal to the metal, baby. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of talk straight to start off with, and let me flip my camera. Okay, so to start off with, it is going to have you do this part here. Okay, so 75 off for the month of November is what Rose is helping us out with that information, so I appreciate you. So in this design, you do need to do this portion first before you're going to take and place this onto the back side. So now I'm doing some leaves.
I said, no, you didn't, because mine are the same way.
504.
They crisscross from time to time.
334. Okay, so as we're doing the stitching, I'm going to kind of talk about the steps of this, and then by that time we will be ready for our second hooping. And I have not forgotten about announcements. I will go over that with you. Okay, so to start off with, we have the pocket front. This is going to fit in a 5x7 regardless of what size you want your entire utensil holder to be. So this is only available in the 5x7 size. All right. So the way that we get this started, I guess I can show you this. So the 5x7 pocket option, it will make it kind of short. I think that if I were to do it this way, I think that this would be a really great option to add some ribbon into there somehow and have this be more of like a gift pocket. But then the 8x8 and then the 150 by 240 size I think is perfect for the utensil holders. I think the 6x10 option is maybe just a little bit too large, but again, it can be used in a variety of ways. So you could use this as a way to give a gift to somebody, and if that gift is super long, then that 6x10 option might be the way to go. I will go ahead and mention that the fabric kit that I have cut is so that you can make 6 of the utensil holders in the 150 by 240 size. And I will go over a little bit more information on that. Hi, Sherry. Sorry about your poor connection. Okay, so getting started, you load that front pocket part into the machine. And then I have 2 layers of a dissolve away mesh in my hoop. Because there is a lot of dense stitching on here, I prefer to work with 2 layers. The largest do a knob holder for a door. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. Okay, so then our first step is to stitch directly onto our stabilizer. It's going to stitch the shape of our pocket. Then it is going to ask you to lay down your fabric. And I personally, I wanted it to have a little bit more body, so I have a single-sided fusible on the wrong side of my fabric. So my background fabric and for what is in the kit is a grunge, light, like creamy color. So you lay that over the placement line and tack that in place. Then it's going to do a placement line so that we know where to do our fabric for our right corner. And then it does the placement line for our pumpkin, and then the tack down for our pumpkin, and then for our leaf. So I chose to use batiks for these applique pieces. I think that they blend beautifully. So then when you get to your instructions, we should be on page 5, and then it is going to be step number 7. And this is where the instructions are going to tell you that you need to refer to your color chart in order to do all of the next steps. So it starts off with a dark brown, and it does these little vine details here, and you can kind of see it peeking through on top of our pumpkin here and here for our leaves. After it does that, it does our satin stitch for our pumpkin. And then after that, it does these red flowers, one here and one here. And then it does the center fill here that I chose like a yellowish gold color. Hi Ernie, the design is from JUJU. It is on sale right now. The design is originally $12 and is on sale for $3. And then I did provide a kit which is also available online. It will make 6 of these utensil holders, and it is $17.99. So after it does the pumpkin stitching, then it moves on to our sunflower here, and then it moves to our stem, and then it moves to these auburn leaves, to the brown leaves, and that's where we're at currently. And then we are going to just continue with this stitching, and then I'm going to show you how you can place this on the second hooping, because I think some of the people that I've spoken to when it comes to this type of project is they get so intimidated by the fact that they've kind of jumped a step, and like the instructions for JUJU says to not trim this excess fabric. You just trim the excess from up at the top because you're going to do a satin stitch on both of those sides there. So their instructions are to not trim the excess. So I'm going to trim the excess, and I'm going to show you that it's still okay. You wouldn't have to start over. But we will get there. Right now we're on machine step 18 out of 25. It is going to go pretty fast from here. So while it's doing its stitching, I will go over some announcements with you guys. We are in the process of preparing for the Barbara Goldcorn event, and we have, so if you haven't heard any information on that, that is this week. In our Thornton store, we are going to be having the trunk show with Barbara here on the Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday are each their own individual sessions. You wouldn't be signing up for 2 days. It's a one-day event. You get to pick between Friday and Saturday, and it is going to be held in our Littleton location, and you'll be making the trendy fringe tote. The trunk show is a $10 fee, and if you are wanting to participate in either Friday or Saturday session of the class, it is $99. And if you sign up and have an L890, we are asking that you bring your machine to work on, and we have a supply list out there for all L890 owners. If you are not an L890 owner, a machine and all materials will be provided for you. Jan, we are making this fun it is a utensil holder. So it is called the In the Hoop Pretty Pumpkin utensil holder. Design is from JUJU. The design is originally $12. It is on sale for $3. And I have created a kit for you with the fabrics that you see here. And it would allow you to make 6 of the utensil holders for $17.99. All right, so now we are done with our leaves. We're going to come back over here. We're going to change our thread to black. And we just have a few more steps on this guy. Right now we are going to do the center of our sunflower. All right, so and then I know some of you are expecting us to be doing a comment sold sale last Friday, but we are going to be doing that on the 14th. So mark your calendars for that. We are going to be providing that for you guys, and we're very excited about it because we've missed doing it. All right, now it's going to do the larger flower to the left of our leaf, and I chose to have this be a gold color. But I will say that you're not like stuck with your designs. So you can always change it up. So let's see. We're going to change it up and we're going to do this brownish red. So this is machine step 20. For what I used a Floriani color. It was 532. That is the color that you see here. And then I'm going to change it to 1526. So what I was going to talk about was that you don't have to have these all be identical. So you could kind of break this up and make it where it's more personalized for whoever's going to be sitting at your table this holiday season. So what I was talking about is on here, you can have a whole bunch of these. You can make a whole bunch. You can have some for extra, for guests that aren't a part of the family as well. But you could, with Christine's video on making patches, you can create a patch and do a monogram with initials, or even I could do the word Miko in that small area and create the background piece for it, have it do the stitching, put the press and bond, double-sided Bond Pro on the back side of it, and I could fuse it to this. Or you have that option of going ahead and stitching, but I do like the idea of kind of making it look the same. So if you're going to do some type of personalization up here, to kind of make it in a way where you can replicate it, so that if you have another baby born, or a nephew born, or somebody in addition, or we have 2 new men in our families with our the weddings we've been to recently, right? We can make some adjustments to Cindy's monogram. So If any of you are interested in that, let me know and we can kind of go over that information once we get the next part pulled up. Marilyn, that is... Susan, you're so funny. Susan, I didn't know there was a time limit or a limit on how many times you could comment. That's really weird. Let me see. Okay, so stitch out time. We are looking at, and obviously I think it's going to depend on which option you choose. So I do know that it's a 22-minute stitch out for this piece to get attached to the back piece. But I'm just going to show you when it comes to that. I'm going to show you how to place that, and then it will do the satin stitch, and I'll probably let you guys go at that point. But because we all know how to do a satin stitch, because I'm going to show you how to use a fun tool when it comes to the like getting rid of your stabilizer on this pocket piece. So once it comes to the satin of the last part of the project, I don't think we're going to have to hang out for too much longer. Let's see. Okay, so for this one, like I said, this is the front pocket of our design. So this one in specific only comes in a 5x7 option. It's going to fit on all the different sizes that are available to you with the designs from JUJU. So the only thing that changes is how tall your utensil holder gets. This is the second largest option, and that is what our kit is cut to for that $17.99, and you'll be able to make 6 of them. And then Marilyn, I don't know the date in specific, but I do believe that it was sometime September that Christine did the video on the patches. But I do know that it is one of the ones I uploaded. All right, and now we're going to do the center for this block. And honestly, I think the option of doing lighter or dark, like you could, if I were going to be making this for somebody specifically, I would probably change my colors around just a smidge. I didn't know if I was going to like the lighter or the darker version of this part of our flower, but yes, Marilyn, it was done on a live. Oh, might help if I'm threaded. Hi, hi, hi.
So keep sewing, guys. Don't try to make it too. The moral of the story is.
Okay, so now it's going to do like these little berries. So I chose to use like a lighter brown this time around. Hi, Anne. Glad you made it, my dear. So I have a feeling with you just getting on, you're going to be like, what are we making? So today's project is the Pretty Pumpkin in the Hoop utensil holder. And it is a design from JUJU. And the design is originally $12, on sale for $3 for the month of November. And I have made a kit out of the fabrics that you will see here. And you'll be able to make 6. And the kit is $17.99. September 26th was the patches. All right. So now we are going to attach our back piece. And the 2 colors that I chose to use for my top portions here is, these are 2 different colors. So I did 1334 for my first one, and then 1114. All right, so we're going to take our our hoop off of the machine, and I am going to, why thank you, Karen. I am going to take I don't have anything fused onto this one. I just did it on the one that I'm doing my embroidery on. But I'm going to take my piece of grunge and place it on my hoop on the back side so we hide our stitching. And then I know that my next step is going to do the satin stitching for here. So I'm just going to get that thread on the machine ready to go. And that again is that 1334. And we're going to attach the front and the backs together, do a little trimming, and then some satin stitching. Oh, Nancy corrected herself. She said August 26th. Which I think is what she said anyways. All right, so I'm gonna take my hoop off of the machine. I don't know why, but I've always gotten used to, before I do my trimming, I change my bobbin if it's necessary. That way, after my trimming, I don't forget and risk running into the situation of having some silly stitching. So I have my top thread and my bobbin thread matching, which now I'm kind of questioning. That does not look the same. 1334. Well, there we go. I threaded 1344. All of these fall colors are somewhat similar. All right, now we're locked and loaded. Now we have top thread and bobbin thread matching. Hi, Linda. Okay, so then I'm gonna start here on my back. If you can save your paper tape, then I would advise you to do so, because again, I mean, you can definitely make this just for yourself, but if you're going to be making numerous, you know, however many you need, you're going to use that paper tape over and over again. Okay, so we are on the back side. I removed our tape and I'm trimming the excess fabric that is beyond my stitching points. All right, and then now we're on the front side. So when it comes to the front side, they ask that you cut the project like so. You're going to cut the top piece only, and then at that point you can do your satin stitching. But I'm going to show you that even if you jump the gun and don't listen to instructions, that you're okay. Saving the sides of this definitely gives you a little bit of grace when it comes to getting this aligned properly. So now we're going to do our satin stitching for our right corner piece. Fastest scissors in the West. That's so funny. And I promise you, this that we're doing here, and then this piece here is the only satin stitching I'm going to have you watch, I promise. Oh, of course, Renee. Cindy's wedding was beautiful. It was beautiful. Thank you, Nancy. So they got married and birthed, and I will tell you that Cindy did all of the prep work. There was very little assistance to her, so I think she did a kick-ass job. So it was, food was good. She made her own desserts.
She was beautiful.
She was very beautiful. Her dress was very, very pretty. Lisa, I'll go over the project here with you in just 1 minute. All right, so now we're going to do that other side. and we need to make sure that our bobbin thread and top thread are matching. So I'm going to change to that second color. This color is also the same color that you'll use on the front portion when you're combining your two pieces together. But they did a first look that was super, super pretty and nice. And the dancing was fun. And Miko had a blast because he made a little friend. But everybody looked beautiful. Not as beautiful as Cindy, but that's the whole point. But it was awesome. And her daughter Siri came and could not control the river coming from her eyes the entire time. It was adorable. And I got Matt to dance with me. You did not hear that. You did not hear that. Ugh. Now he's never going to dance with me again. Matt is not a dancing in front of other people kind of person. But he did it for me. Okay, so I will go over the project one more time. The design is from JUJU, and it is called the Pretty Pumpkin Utensil Holder. And you have a couple of different options that are below us here. So the pocket piece that you see the pumpkin on, each of those, all of these are going to be fitting in a 5x7 hoop and attach onto your background piece the same way. It's just going to change the height. So that first option is the 5x7, and then we have an 8x8 option, and then we have the 150 by 240, and then 6x10. So you can just see that, like, from the 8x8 option to the 6x10, you have a lot more of your background back piece to make it taller. I will say that the kit that I have cut for you with the fabrics that you've seen in today's demonstration is $17.99, and you would be able to make 6 of the utensil holders. The design is originally $12, on sale for $3. Trying to think of what else I've said. I'll tell him, but when he's not on the phone. Yeah, I mean, he dances with me, but never really outside of the comfort of our own home. So I was very proud of him. Okay, so now we are done with the pocket piece. And I am going to remove this piece from our hoop. And I am going to trim my excess. So I'm going to trim this so that about 1/8 of an inch is going to be left of my Dissolve Away stabilizer. All right, So we have that front piece done. Then what I was going to tell you that I like to do before we take this and apply it to the other piece is you have the R&K Aqua Touch markers. Barb, if we have enough, that shouldn't be a problem. I have taken a screenshot of that. I do want to make sure that we have everything cut when it comes to kits, though, before I give you an answer on that. Bye, Phyllis. Okay, so before we move on to the next part, this is one of my favorite little products. So Cindy, I remember Cindy a long time ago when she was making a project, she had something with dissolve away mesh, and she was just getting, I think she was getting it with her fingers and just getting her fingers wet and then like rubbing this. But then like the next day she comes into the store and her fingers had like these marks on them from the material like eating at her skin. So then when Floriani or R&K came out with these, I was like, these are so cool, because then you can just take your tip of the marker, and I'm just pressing down a little bit to get more water to come out, but then you can just run it along the sides here. But then while we do the other parts, it will dry a little bit. All right, so we're about to move on to the part where we are going to be adding the backing. Did anybody want me to go over a way of personalizing this? Okay, so now we've done that. So we're going to come over here to our machine, and we're going to hit our home button, and we're going to go in there and we're going to grab the second design for us. Lisa, the kit is $17.99. Okay, so in our folder we have the 150 by 240, the 5x7, 6x10, and then the 8x8. The kit I have cut for, it is going to accommodate the 150 by 240. So I'm going to select that design and I'm going to hit set. So then I'm going to put my pocket piece off to the side, and I'm going to grab my larger hoop, and directly on top of the stabilizer we're going to stitch the placement lines so we know where to place our fabric. So for those of you, or if anybody is ordering the kit, I will say that when I was going through all of the instructions in order to try and find how much yardage it was going to be, I discovered that this measurement that they tell you on here, which I think I left at the cutting table, but it was like 12 by 7.5. You do not need 7.5 inches. That gives a little bit too much of that material. So I would suggest doing it at 5.5. Marty, I am using the Baby Lock Radiance machine today. Okay, so then I have my fabrics, and I have my front piece. I have pre-fused with a single-sided because, again, I want my utensil holders to have a little bit of structure, or I guess not a little bit, a lot of it. All right, so now that we have our line here, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to take my, no I'm not, because you guys want to see the personalization. So we're going to back it on up a step. Okay, so if we're going to add personalization, then you are going to complete these steps just slightly different. So if you're going to add the personalization, you're going to want to do that before you put your back on so that you can not have any stitching on the back of your utensil holder. All right, so then I'm going to place this covering that area, and I'm going to show you exactly why you don't need 7.5 inches. You're about to see. So that additional fabric, so in my opinion, that's a little bit too much of a waste. So with your kits, cut them for 12 inches and then do the 5.5 inches. All right, so now I'm just trimming my excess fabric. This is something that you can do at this time, or if you would like, I'm doing it so that you can have a little bit better visualization in this next step. Okay, so now we've already done some work on here when it comes to these steps. So we don't have an add button. And I'm going to hit return, but then I'm going to hit add. So if you don't have a fabric that is as busy, then you can just do something as simple as adding a font to it. I like this one. And we can hit set, and then you can take this and put it up near the top. If you want, we can hit our button up here to get the projection. It's going to say, hey, we're going to move this around. It's going to turn on. Then when we come over here, we can see where it's going to say Lily to give it that image. Or we can come up here and press our little camera button to take a picture of what is in our hoop. So then it asks for permission. Is it okay that we are about to have this move to take a image of what is inside your hoop? I like that too, Nancy. All right, so then you kind of get the best of both worlds. So you have the option of doing it with the projection and seeing it on the project itself, or if you're like a Destiny owner and learn to use the camera on the Destiny, then maybe you're more used to scanning something in and looking at it on your screen. So you have the two options. And then if we want, we can go into add. And if you're going to have that option where you can kind of turn it into a patch, then we can go ahead and select from something like this.
It is just 254. Oh, we have a place. Yeah. Oh, you're good.
And I think just doing like a straight stitch, and then you can trim it away as you want. But then we're going to go to edit, and we can go up and move this towards the top, and we can size this down. So right now this circle is measuring 1.58. So then you could have this be, too high.
Faucet is fixed. You have steps out back and a temporary railing.
Small little circle. And then we can go up to our copy and paste button. We'll want to put that directly on top of the previous. So the first one is like a tack down line, or a placement line. Second is a tack down line. And then we can go into add, go into our fonts.
You're laughing? I thought that was cute. It was so bad. I have been going, so ever since we moved in 25 years ago, right? There's been 2 little 20-inch fluorescent lights.
Well, I don't like that either. Okay, so that's what's fun about this. So we can put in our LM. So this is for Lily McMillan.
So I showed you before. So then I was down to 1 bulb out of 4. But I'm embarrassed because I didn't clean off my counter. I didn't put, at least I picked my underwear up off the floor. Well, that's a good thing. Did my laundry yesterday, so.
A little too big. Then we can go through and try out all of these fonts to see what one we like.
Okay, all right. So now, do you have that all in twisted or twisted, or does it matter? All right. So
All right, so now I've made it smaller, and then we can go and move it up. So then we can add that there. All right, so we are going to work on getting this placed. And we need to, there is a placemat, Susie says. Okay, so then you would do that stitching, and then you would turn your hoop to the back, place your fabric over your stitched area, tape down your corners, all right, and then we're going to tack those pieces together. And then we're almost done. So then you can measure out whatever shape it is that you're using in order to add any of that personalization. Measure it out, and then you can go and recreate that just with the shape rather than the entire utensil holder. And then put the press and bond or the double-sided Bond Pro on the back, and then you can just fuse it so that they have that same look. All right. All right, so now we have our back attached. Then we are going to trim the excess on the back side of our hoop and the front side if you haven't done that at that point. And when you get to machine step 4, it is going to have half of that shape. All right, so then we're going to return this, and we're going to get our front pocket piece. All right, so then you are going to line this up. And in my opinion, I think it's just a little bit easier when you don't have the excess hanging off the sides. But I'm just looking that this line is lined up with the line on our back piece. It's going to start stitching on our left side first. And then I'm going to, it's going to start stitching forward. And then at this point, you can press and hold this so that when it's coming back over this side, you can go nice and slow to make sure that it doesn't get caught. But I'm not even using any tape. All right, and then the final step is to stitch the satin stitch all the way around. So you can put a piece of tape over the side here because it's going to travel down in this direction. So if you want, you can put a piece of tape here just to calm your nerves, but it's going to go around the entire placemat doing that zigzag stitch to lock it in place. All right. So that is all I have for you. I'm having a bad hair day today. They already think I'm weird enough, right? Let's not add to it. Okay, so thank you all for joining us today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will maybe see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.